Welcome everyone to a live edition or episode of Friday Nights on the Bayou. I'm your host, Grant Sasher, CrescentCitySports.com, and of course, also the owner of Ruger Sports Media. Joined here, as always, or if not most of the time, Jace LeJeune of Ground Football. Jace, what a crazy second
Oh man.
round.
Oh man, where do we start? And once again, Grant, I appreciate it, man. It's always fun to
Yeah.
catch up with you and talk about these playoff games with you, man. Always a great show, and always
Mm,
have fun being on with you. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we talked about early this week about like the parity, man. Like, I mean, it's just with the playoffs, and you expect these type of matchups, like quarterfinal, semifinal matchups, but they're second round matchups. I mean, Katie and John Curtis, like that's a usually a semifinal game, have and like Cecilia Lutcher, I mean, that's a semifinal type of game in the second round.
yeah.
So like these are great games and well, a lot of upsets, but we're going to talk about it, Grant, but those are it comes to show you that when it comes to playoff matchups, sometimes it's more about the matchups than the actual, oh, this team had lost and they just had a bad game. I think these are just bad matchups a lot of times, and you saw that tonight, and that's why a lot of state championship favorites went down tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Lutcher. We both had Lutcher as our state champion, Division Two, non-select bracket. And the thing was, like, I felt pretty confident about that. But however, I would have felt a lot more confident about that if they were able to get past the second round. I mean, Cecilia.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that they're the 18th seed that's
wild.
pretty shocking. Because like here's Cecilia's 7-3. The three
Yeah,
losses against St. Aug, Central, and Opelousas is by like a point. I
right.
mean, and they're 7-3. They're the defending state runner-ups, and they're the 18th seed. Like, I mean,
18th, yeah, that's
just
just
a
bad
man. Like,
ball.
I mean, it's just a bad match. I mean, and Lurcher's a great team. Like, Lurcher's defense is incredible. So a lot of people thought, that okay, maybe Cecilia's offense was gonna have a tough time against his defense, and that was the exact opposite. They actually had a pretty easy time actually scoring on that Lutcher defense, which is pretty. I mean, and
Yeah.
if you really think about it, I mean, gotta pull up Lutcher's like past 5 games because
The type of
like
offense was a bad matchup for
yeah,
Lutcher. The type of offense, and it
here's
happened tonight.
Jace, and to put this in perspective, they Lutcher has allowed 50 points
Oh,
all year. They allowed 49 tonight.
not just tonight.
It's just an incredible performance by Cecilia. I mean, Katiana losing
Yeah,
against John Curtis. I mean, out of all the teams from New Orleans that were going to go and left that people thought maybe could get a win in Lafayette, John Curtis was probably the least
yeah,
because Acadiana was for a lot of people was a favorite to go to the Dome.
yeah.
And John Curtis has not been like this is not a good John Curtis team. I'm not saying they're a
But
bad
kind
John
of
Curtis
like,
team, but John Curtis this year, I mean, like I said, that storyline going to the playoffs is that John Curtis experienced their first losing season
hmm
since JT's first year
hmm
as the head coach, and really that was the first year as the program
yeah,
too. So, like, it was a really shocking result considering that Indiana has looked great all year long. They have not lost since their 35-27 loss to Ruston.
yeah.
And the fact that and John Curtis does not look great either. I mean, John Curtis lost 2 straight games, I think, to end the season.
hmm
So they lost a lot. I mean, they did not look good offensively, but John Curtis found a way to put points on the board. And it was pretty sure because I mean, really, and that was the thing about Curtis. They had a hard time trying not only putting points on the board, but then also trying not to turn the ball over.
Yeah, right. That's been Achilles heel, Grant. But like the Lutcher game, and I even pointed out on your show last week that a lot of people were picking. I mean, I picked the Canadian to win, but a lot of people were just like it was a foregone conclusion that the Canadian was going to win that game. I said like, well, if there's one team that can trip them up is John Curtis because there's for a lot of other teams it's hard to defend the Veer offense, and that's why these teams have had success. But John Curtis knows how to defend it because that's what they run. So it's perfect. Is a bad matchup, and we saw some bad matchups. And I felt like that John Curtis would for KDN. It was a bad matchup seeing John Curtis second round because they know how to defend it and they know what it takes to beat a Veer offense because they go up against it every day in practice. So that's what helped John Curtis here, and that's what helped him get the win. And I thought KDN would have I thought it'd be a close game. I really did. I didn't think I thought that a KDN's passing offense would find a way to be enough. But in the end, it was John Curtis passing offense that got him the game-winning touchdown. So yeah, you gotta give credit to JT Curtis and John Curtis, and like you said, it's hard to go against the goat. I mean, it really is,
Yeah.
and he's proven us wrong again. But I mean, I did say like, hey, like don't sleep on John Curtis. I mean, I was at the game against Brother Martin the week before, and the matchup of playing the Veer offense that gives Curtis some confidence because I mean, they know exactly what it's like because that's what they defend all week in practice every single day.
Yeah, and like the old saying, like I don't trust. Here's the thing. I don't like the thing is like I never like I will doubt John Curtis. I don't
Mhm.
doubt JT Curtis. That's a
Right,
big difference. You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying? Like
right.
I mean the Curtis the team this year wasn't all that great. I mean, like
It
I said,
wasn't
this is the
typical John
first losing
Curtis.
season. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the first losing season since the program's inception. And the fact that despite with all the issues they've had all year, the fact that JT was able to get the team ready, not only to win the rematch against Brother Martin handily, but then also go on the road, drive to Lafayette, and upset a Acadiana team that has looked great all year long
yeah.
offensively, and they completely shut them down. And by the way, Acadiana is not just like this beer team. I mean, they can throw the ball
They
very
can,
well as well.
they
I
can.
mean, they have two D1 receivers on either side of the ball. They have a quarterback who's really good, and they're not afraid to throw the ball.
Oh,
Right?
I know that, and that's
Usually
why
very
I thought Katie ended up winning because I thought they would be able to throw the football and have success there. But I knew it wouldn't be like John Curtis won't be intimidated by Katie and his Veer offense because I mean they know what it's like because that's what they run on offense. So that just helps them going up against an offense like this.
Yeah, and Mandeville, of course, they got upset by West
Yeah,
Monroe.
yeah.
And West Monroe's one of those sneaky teams like going into the
Mhm.
playoffs, and you look at the road like, oh, they could have a shot
They
at
have a
going to the
manageable road.
quarterfinals.
Yeah, they
I
really
mean,
do.
big win on the road, yeah, and 20-9 in that one. But then also, what was another one? It was pretty. Oh, Opelousas beat Jennings.
Yeah.
And that was and that was a upset I actually called. That was probably the only upset that like
Yeah,
I
that a lot of
predicted really.
people. Yeah, right. Because of
I mean, a
Apple.
lot of people did. Yeah,
Right, right. Because of everybody that was coming back, and I mean all the starters are coming back. You get your quarterback back. Deshaun Ford comes back. Corey Fontenot. I mean, there's a lot of really good players on that Appaloosa's team. You get them all back, and Jennings is a good team. It's like we talk about the other games we talked about, right? It's just bad draws. I mean, usually in the
yeah,
second round you get a decent draw, and it's not until maybe the quarterfinals is when you start thinking, okay, the tough one. But like now, just talk about the parity in just high school football in Louisiana. Like these second round matchups are like quarterfinal, semifinal matchups, and that's why you've seen so many upsets. But it's been a crazy second round. I don't remember probably a second round like this. To be honest with you, Grant.
Oh, it's not last year's second round was pretty crazy too.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was pretty crazy as well. However, I think just that there's a lot of teams. There's upsets, but I mean, we're talking about teams. Well, like Acadiana
Like
and
there's
Lutcher. We
championship
all
teams
thought we're
we
going to
had
the dome.
going to the dome, losing second round.
Yeah, I mean that's just incredible. I mean, and you really just the select and not select. I mean, divisions. I mean, it's a thing. I know a lot of people. Obviously, some people bash on it, and of course, I would say it's the best system we've had in a while.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
then Eric came on the show and said the same thing. It's the best parody we have had in a while. Just because it's a lot. Not only it's a lot more competitive, but I think just having public school, finding a way to get public schools to play private schools in the playoffs has really paid dividends. I mean, it really has. And like I know, like you can say, well, Acadiana lost against John Curtis. Well, Acadiana on paper was much better than John Curtis. John Curtis just happened to, they had play their best game, and that's what happened. I mean, it's not.
That's why you don't play the game on paper. You play it out on the field, and you probably play that game. Grant, 10 times? How many times do you think Acadiana wins that? 8 out of 10, probably. Some kind of number like that. But all it takes is one, and John Curtis was a better team tonight, and that's what matters. You got to find a way to win, and that's what John Curtis did.
Yeah, and by the way, Franklin defeated DeQuincy, so that's another one.
Yeah, I picked the wrong team, but the thought process was there. It just happened to be not Nightcap, so it was Franklin. But Franklin being DeQuincy, I think Loreauville defeated ERAF. That was another top seed going down.
Really? Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Loreauville defeated ERAF. So there's been it. Just watch out. If you're a higher seed, it was not guaranteed that you're going to come with a victory. And that was the question, right? Because all these teams are playing this round, right? So does it affect you? Does the bye affect you? And so far tonight, we've seen the bye really affect these teams as well. Not only there were bad matchups, but the teams we just talked about, they all had byes. I mean, Letcher had a bye. Acadiana had a bye. I mean, ERAF had a bye. I mean, all those teams, DeQuincy, all those teams had byes. So, it comes to show you that you probably rather be the team that's playing in the playoffs, and because you're in playoff mode and you already know what it's kind of like in the playoff mode.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like the bye, and that's if there's any team, for example, I know the perfect team the team that always seems to do well after for a bye, coming off of a bye. Well, not coming off a bye, but like when the team you don't want to play after a bye is John Curtis. The team you don't want to play after a bye is a team like Cecilia. You're playing teams that. I mean, well, John Curtis hasn't not looked great all year, not the way that they usually are.
Yeah.
But Cecilia is a team that was the defending state champion, defending state runner-up.
That was dangerous.
Like,
you knew that was dangerous.
I mean, the fact that you had to go against now that they're at the beginning of the year, they're also battling injuries too.
Yeah,
that's also another fact. Like like we said, Jace, at the beginning of the playoffs, we're discussing everything going on. We said sometimes you have to look past the results, and Curtis is a perfect example. Even though Curtis not looked great all year, you just know Curtis eventually was going to come through and do something that you won't expect it. Cecilia, they're 7-3, yet they're the 18th seed. Usually 18th seeds are guys who are like 6-4, something along those lines. People who struggled all throughout the year, just kind of bouncing back, kind of having up and down year.
Yeah.
Cecilia is just a different EP. I mean, Cecilia, in a lot of ways, Cecilia is a lot like Central last year. Where Central Central wasn't, of course, the state runner-up from the year before, but Central had a really good team, a really solid team with a lot of depth and a lot of pieces that could lead to a deep run in the playoffs. And that's what Cecilia has. Cecilia not only has a lot of players that are coming back from last year, but they also have the younger players as well. Braylon Calais had a big game, right in for over 100 yards. Frankie Frank, that's his name. Frankie Frank had a great game as well. Awesome. He's going to be a dude. He's already a dude, but I mean that we haven't seen his final form yet. And I know he's going to get a few offers down the road.
So Marky Mark, we got Frankie Frank. So there we go.
Yeah, and who else? Just like
is a good player for him.
But I'm not talking about this. I'm just talking about just like teams that you don't want to see after a bye. I mean, the bye is dangerous. That bye is dangerous. Like you may think, you get an extra week. Yeah,
Jen's got a bye. Had to play Opelousas. There's a lot of teams out there. There are teams that had to play, go Division 4. Southern Lab. You were St. Frederick, and I think St. Frederick had a bye. You got to go and play Southern Lab.
Yeah, but that was different. I mean, there were some off the field issues there, which led to
Mhm.
their downfall. I mean, I think we all heard the news. I'm
Mhm.
not going to repeat it. I mean, you can look it up, but
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was.
just it was basically. I'll say this. This is probably the key to the story. When you play GTA, what is the one place you don't rob?
Wait, say that again.
And when you play GTA, what is the one place
Yeah.
you don't point a gun? The one place where you try to rob, where's the place you don't point a gun at the cash register? That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go.
Now that didn't happen, but
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Why would you try to rob a gun store? Like,
yeah,
oh my god! I mean, just
yeah.
like why?
I
I
would
know they're like, I
try to
mean,
thought
like,
that one out a little bit. Maybe think over. Yeah, try to think that out.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like I know I've done some I know we all done some wild stuff when we were 60, 70 years old. I would have never done that. But anyway, yeah, but I mean, but there's some other off the field stuff as well. But like, even if they did play, I mean, you're walking to a buzzsaw that is the defending state champion Southern
Right,
Lab. I mean,
right.
but it's just like, it's not even just the buy. It's just a bad matchup overall.
Yeah,
Like
this
you're
is some
playing against
bad matchup second round for a lot of these higher seed teams.
Catholic Point Capee
Washoe
is
Christian.
playing hosting Washington
I
Christian.
know after a bye,
A
that's another.
9-1 Washington Christian team. Somehow a 9-1 Washington Christian team is the 11th team, but really just shows you the depth of that bracket.
Yeah, it's a
Like I said,
pitfall.
Jason, that is the deepest bracket of all the brackets. But at the same time, it's unfathomable that you have a team that of Washington that's won like what 4 or 5 state championships in the last 10, 50 years.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, they're 9-1, but they're the 11th seed. So hey, Catholic Point could be have fun. Like
Yeah,
it's just maybe they need to fix the seating. I mean, I think that's going to be a conversation as well.
yeah, that'll be a
Because
conversation in the off season.
I mean,
For sure.
because I mean, you have a Cecilia team that is the defending state champions, but they're 18th.
Right.
They're the 18th seed. Like that makes zero sense. Like Cecilia, if you based off their record alone, they are a 10 through 12 seed.
Yeah,
That's
and you
it.
just look at their roster. Look at their roster. They're definitely a top 10 seed. I would probably take them up as far as like our roster is concerned. I mean, top 5, top 8 seed in the
Yeah, no.
playoffs.
Yeah, and a great
Off their
example of
roster.
that too. A great example of that too is Haynes Academy being the number 4 seed. Now I have nothing against Haynes Academy in that program, but like if you look at their schedule, I know they played up, but they didn't really play anybody.
Yeah,
They didn't
it's
really.
not their fault. I mean,
It's
but
not their fault. I mean,
still haven't
they had a fantastic season, but
Yeah, they won
you
the
could
game.
tell when you
Yeah,
watched
they
the
won the
Struma
game.
versus Haynes, Struma was way better.
Yeah, there was
than,
no. It was a bad matchup because Haynes Academy hasn't seen an athletic team like a Struma, and you saw it. I mean, you were there, and you saw Kyrie Paul. Now Kyrie Paul left the game, but you saw what he was doing before. I mean, before he got hurt. So yeah, I mean, just the athletes on the Struma's football team. It was just a bad matchup for Haynes Academy. You saw it. I mean, a lot of people saw it coming in with that being a popular upset. But yeah, there were just a lot of bad matchups. Like Cecilia's explosive offense against Letcher for sure. John Curtis having to run the veer and having JT Curtis and being the coach team that they are, just from a program. I mean, that was that's a bad matchup. No matter how like inconsistent John Curtis was in the regular season. Like, yeah, there were some just bad matchups. You talk about those Division 4 teams as well, and Division 4 select. So yeah, it just comes to show you, man. Like you gotta still play the games on the field, and that's why those games aren't playing on paper. If these games are played on paper, then all the 1 seeds would make the championship game. That's why you gotta go out and play it. But it's kind of like March Madness, Grant. Like sometimes, like the best teams lose early because they have a bad matchup. And this is what we've seen here this year.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly, Jason. And so yeah, before we go over the bracket, we're gonna take a little break. So that was kind of the top storylines for this round too. It's just not only just the upsets, but also just the bad matchups. I mean the fact that you have like Cecilia is the 18th seed, and when really they're more like a 10th
God.
seed.
I
Or
mean,
you have Opelousas as the 14th seed, and they're playing
yeah.
against Chevys. I mean, it's just there's a lot of bad matchups. Maybe they need to change the seeding. I don't know. I know they've kind of always had this system, and it's to a sense, but it just seems like teams are seeded. Like, a great example is Central last year. There's no way that team was the 18th seed. No way.
No, no.
If
I
you
mean,
watch actually play.
you saw Northwest as a 22 seed make the semi, so you just
Well,
never.
that was
That
more
was a little
fair.
bit.
I,
They were
I
a
see
true
that that
Cinderella.
made more sense. But like,
Yeah, they were a true
I mean,
Cinderella team, but still, it's
it's ridiculous.
yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah. So and then also, upsets, bad matchups. Do we need to change the seeding? I don't know. But anyway, before we get into all the scores, we're gonna once again we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a stretch a little bit. It's only gonna last a minute, and we'll be back soon, and we'll answer your comments actually as well. All right. So anyway, yeah. So welcome back, guys. Once we just went over just kind of the top storylines for the first round, and it was like we said, there's a lot of upsets, just a lot of crazy games.
yeah,
The fact that like a lot of teams that we all thought were going to go to the dome lost, like
yeah.
Butcher team that me and Jace both picked as the state champion, they went down, and that was actually a game where I made a article about the top 5 games involving New Orleans area teams, and Lutcher Cecilia is one of them. I actually put Turlins and Jesuit. That was a game I thought Jesuit was going to win, but they
Tony's
didn't.
won tonight.
Yeah, but then it was crazy. Like I didn't put Acadian Curtis because I thought Acadian was going to kill him at least. Like 35-14. Like that's what I mean by kill. Like not like obviously 78-37, but like like
I thought KDN would actually win a nail biter because of just JT's prowess and they'll be prepared for the veer and all that. Like, I just thought like KDN's passing game would just get a little bit of an edge, and especially like with John Curtis's offense, kind of still trying to find their stride. But I thought defensively they would give KDN some problems, and yeah, it shocked me knowing that they won. Like I thought KDN would find a way to win it, but yeah, I'm not too surprised it was close. But for John Curtis to win that game, I'm a little surprised. I'm definitely surprised for sure because like KDN, you look at it, everybody was talking about in Division One Select. Everybody was talking about the top 4 seeds. Everybody was talking about in the car. Everybody was talking about KDN, Alexandria, and Catholic. I mean, those are the 4 teams that everybody thought they would just go to the semis, but John Kerr's had to shake it up a little bit. So yeah, we'll definitely have to break it down. Obviously on our show, Ball in the Boot, but man, just reaction wise, like that's crazy. And it comes to show you, like, yeah, we're never down JT Curtis. You said it on there. You have it at the bottom, and that's true. Like, no matter what, you can't leave him out. That's for sure.
And before we get to anything else, we have a quick announcement. So, of course, as you know, the last couple of shows we promoted Mid City Pizza. Mid City Pizza, once again, it is one of the better pizza places in the New Orleans area. Of course, I mentioned before that they were voted as New Orleans best pizza last spring during their Pizza Madness. So when you come down to the state championships, make sure to check out Mid City Pizza. They have two locations, one on 4400 Bank Street, right behind Jesuit, and then also the location in Uptown, 6307 South Mirror Street, which is right across from Tulane's baseball stadium. So whenever you get in town, make sure to check them out for the state championship. It's got some really good pizza, New York style pizza, a lot of great reviews, good food, and Mid City Pizza is probably the place where on Bake Street, the Bake Street location is more of a sit down to eat place. You go get alcohol, not just food but alcohol as well. They got served beers and wines and spirits and stuff like that. So make sure to check them out. But yeah, just I want to share that real quick because they've been sponsoring the show, and I also want to promote them. So make sure when you come to New Orleans for the state championships, or if you live in New Orleans yourself, make sure to check them out. But anyway, Jace, let's go over some comments real quick. I know Devin Steib left a lot, so we're gonna react to some of the stuff he says. But the fighting blue wind pants prevails. I think he's referring to St. Edmunds. Am I right?
I would think so. Yeah. Now I'm thinking
That
about
sounds
it.
about right.
That sounds
I
about
don't know.
right. But
Devin, can you confirm that if you're still watching, please? But anyway, another trip to Lafayette for the JC Pats. Yeah, they won. I don't know how they. Well, no, that Turley. That's you're thinking that's Jesuit. Jesuit lost against Turley. She's up Acadiana. JC Pats, John Curtis Patriots.
well, I think they would have to play. I think they have to play Turlings.
Yeah, they played Turtles. Yeah.
I think that's what that means.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm
would
tripped,
have
dude.
another
It's
trip
11:46 tonight.
Yeah.
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 Chalmette Cinderella story continues.
Chalmette.
Yeah, they beat
River Bears teams.
The parish strikes again, baby.
The parish
strikes again.
Carabao,
parish house.
Where's Chachere hat? Shalman says they can take care of all of them at this point.
I don't think they want this your hand.
I don't think they want this right now. They're riding high.
Yeah. Diesel legacy game. Yeah. I mean, he had over 3. I think I had it saved on my phone, but I think
he's had plenty of them, Devin. He's had some.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that probably wasn't even his best game. In terms of like what he's produced in the past, like
right.
I mean, he's an insane player. Actually, let me pull it up right here. Oh, there we go. So he had
win though. I mean,
he was 13 for 20 with 203 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he had 13 carries for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that was even his craziest game.
Stat line there. Well, that's it. Football Player of the Week with 3 touchdowns on offense. He had 2 interceptions on defense. So like he definitely stuffs the stat sheet.
This is what he referred to. Coach JT switched it up and wore blue pants tonight. Dude's worn red pants all year. Yeah, that's some coach.
JT's always wearing the red pants. And you got to try something different. Like you go against a team like that. You always try switch it up a little bit, and JT decided to go with the blue pants tonight.
Yeah, the few counts rising up, and we're at 109 now. So if you're on YouTube, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the Ruger Sports Media's YouTube channel. If you're on Twitter, make sure to give me a follow. Also, make sure to follow Ruger Sports Media as well. We're going to be posting a lot of content in the next few days, not only with the LSU's going on, but I was able finally to get highlights of the game. Of course, Jackson, my little brother Jackson's done with football. He wants to be a part of sports media.
There you go.
And so he's able to get highlights of the game. So I'm gonna finally have a highlight tape brought up for the game for all you guys to watch and go back and watch the Cecilia and Lutcher game. Of course, the final score is 49-41, although Lutcher scored late. And I actually have a video that I'm gonna share to I need to probably do that maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, but and the last touchdown. So Trent Cheney scored the last touchdown. And then it was a great video because he after he scored the touchdown, he went straight to his knees and started crying. Silly players were giving pats on the back to say great game, and it's the larger players surrounding him. It was a very sad scene, but stuff like it, and that just shows you just the playoffs in a nutshell. Just the agony, the thrill of victory, the heart, the agony of defeat. I mean, it was just. I mean, it's just a video. It's a great video, but I'll show that to you guys later. But so we're able to get a highlight tape up and everything. So I'm glad about that. And of course, I'm going to be doing a LSU pregame podcast tomorrow as well, kind of pregaming, of course, the LSU game. But yeah, so I'm glad. So I was able to go to the game, and it's a great game, and I can't wait for next week. This will be some great games next week. Quarterfinal matches.
Tough to choose.
It'd be hard to decide. Yeah, I know. Yeah, especially when it's slim pickings, man.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals. Possible Appaloosa Cecilia semis, bruh.
Could, yeah, very well could. But I tell you what, though, that bottom side of the bracket's insane, and I would say congratulations, Plaquemine too.
Yeah,
the gold unis.
Gold unis. Yeah, dude. Either that's gonna be it's good. The uniforms are gonna look great. The issue is, imagine if they lose.
They haven't lost 4 games in a row since 1999. You're talking about Jerry DiNardo pre-Saban.
No, Jace. I want to tell you this though. So this is the first time that LSU has lost 3 straight games by double digits since 1966.
Jesus, man. And it's weird, how those 3 games came about, because LSU, Alabama game, they were just dominated from
Eric Tyler area.
Yeah, right.
Eric Tyler was a dog, though. Those Jerry DiNardo's in the mid-90s were great. It's just that he kept Lou Tepper.
Yeah, towards the end was rough, but he brought the magic back a little bit. That was this whole thing about bringing the magic back. But yeah, that Florida game, statistically they dominated the game. That was a weird game. And then you go and then the A&M game, they were winning 17-7 at halftime. So it's just the last, and they all lose by double digits, which it's just insane. How the last month has been. And that's actually my preview article was just how LSU just desperately needs to win just to end this terrible month. That's basically my pregame article, but they'll be released tomorrow on GridironFootballUSA.com. But that's pretty much what it is. Not only on the field, but obviously everybody heard the big news yesterday about Bryce Underwood. So, yeah. But I know there's a high school show, Grant, so we'll go back and
So we're just promoting our stuff. We're just promoting. There's nothing wrong with promoting stuff. I'll also be releasing a column and a pregame article as well. So that would be up sometime in the morning. I actually already started working on my column article. I just needed the pregame article. But Jace, let's go ahead. Yeah, the scores we kind of released on the brackets. So first, we're gonna look at all the scores and then kind of give a brief look into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, sure.
And that's
reaction.
And of course, it would be more of a reaction. And of course, we'll break it all down next Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever we're free. Because Thanksgiving week is gonna be crazy. So we'll get figured out. I'll announce it. Whenever we get whenever we figure it all out. But anyway, let's go over the brackets. Let me pull this up real quick. Bang. So first, to start off with Division I non-select, Neville defeats Covington 44-13. They will play Chalmette, who defeated Onville 35-31. It's the second straight upset victory for the Chalmette Owls. Last week, they defeated Terrebonne on the road. This week, they defeated Honville on the road. So the parish strikes again, and
Yeah.
they defeat another team from a team from the River Parishes for the second week in a row.
Yeah.
Which is why the parish is the parish. There's no other parish where you call it the parish. It's the parish, baby. Saint Bernard Parish, baby. Let's go. No, I'm not even. I don't even rep them. I just like saying the parish. I just like saying the parish because it's the parish. You know,
Getting
you
back,
already know what we're
the
talking
River
about.
Parish, so they definitely
Hey,
deserve that title with the parish.
Mandeville. They get upset at home by West Monroe.
Yeah.
I actually had Mandeville going to the quarterfinals. However, as you got in the playoffs, I'm like, I don't think that's a good decision. I think West Monroe can make a run here, and they have next week. They'll travel to Baton Rouge to play Central. Central defeated West Washington 45-20. So that should be an interesting quarterfinal matchup there, Jace. Ruston defeats Zachary 42-21. They will take on Southside. Southside defeated Walker 47-0. And you're talking about duality. Like, there's no other team that has more up and down the Walker. 1 week they'll lose 59-14.
Matchups. Dutchtown. I mean, that was. I mean,
yeah, and then
Dutchtown's number.
That's the thing. Like the Dutch, like Shaw beat Walker 59-14, and then the next week Walker would beat Dutchtown.
Because
first,
it's all about matchups. Because I think Dutchtown would be a better game against Southside than Walker. I think Dutchtown would actually give Southside a better game. But it was just matchups.
By the way, the GOAT JT Curtis has made his way into the WGNS studios. I just saw he just arrived at. He's in his John Curtis sweatshirt. That's how you know. That's how you know he was hauling butt.
Oh yeah,
to get back to New Orleans for the show. he even changed out to a suit and everything. He's like, I'm here.
I'm here.
So yeah, when that happens, for example, if he's out of town, for example, if let's say they have a game in Lafayette, they'll have someone to fill in for him for maybe like the first 10, 20 minutes, and then once JT arrives, then that person just steps away and JT because it's JT. I mean, nobody has an issue with it.
It's the GOAT.
Griffins losing the quarterback last week got a lot to do with that game last week. Well, they also lost against them in the regular season as well.
Yeah,
with their quarterback. So I mean, that's that plays a factor. That plays a factor, but they also lost against them with their quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So,
sure.
But talk about Dutchtown. But yeah, so Northwood Destrehan defeats Northwood of Shreveport 63-21. Damn.
Airline,
and then
Airline a statement tonight.
Yeah, Airline 40 over Westgate 42-16. I know Westgate's been dealing with some injuries, and I think that's why I felt a lot more confident about Airline going to the quarterfinals. They will take on Destrehan, so that should be a great one over there in the Shreveport area. Airline's hoping they're not going to make the same mistakes last year in the quarterfinals, where they got upset by Mandeville. And, that should be a huge game.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, anyway, Jace, quarterfinals, it's going to be Neville, Chalmette, Westboro, Central Baton Rouge. Central, I don't know if it's Central Baton. I don't know if they say have Central Baton Rouge on here. That's tripping me out.
No other Central.
Yeah, because I mean, I think there's a Central somewhere else that doesn't have a football team.
I think they have
but
Central,
it's kind of weird.
But it's it's not Woodlawn or Woodlawn, Woodlawn, Baton Rouge.
Yeah, Ruston will take on Southside, and then Chachere will take on Airline. Jace, which one of these matchups intrigues you the most?
I think the one that intrigues me the most is I think it's Chachere and Airline. I mean, that one is going to be really. I have my eye on that one because Airline, this is your shot. I mean, as far as going to the state championship, going to the Dome with Ben Taylor, these wide receivers, this offense, this is your opportunity, Grant. I mean, I know we given Shreveport teams a lot of flag this year, but what would silence all that? You go and be a team like Destrehan. Destrehan is another team as a double-digit seed that this is a state championship type of team because everybody's healthy, everybody's coming back. They've been undefeated since Jackson Fields has been back, and Jabari Mack, Philip Wright. I mean, they got a bunch of weapons, and and you get Jace Thomas coming back too, would be big. This could be a type of game he can come back from because they're going to need it against that airline offense. So that game would be really intriguing for me. I mean, as far as the 4 matchups, to me, Grant, one's the one that sticks out to me the most.
Yeah, definitely. Same here, Jace. I mean, this is a game that I had predicted going to the quarterfinals. I actually had Chachere winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this could be interesting for a lot of different reasons. One, airline, of course, and their pass really just the best in attack of both teams. I mean, obviously, Chachere is not as prolific airline, but like airlines. But since Jackson Fields has returned from injury, I mean, Chachere has been awesome on offense.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a very interesting matchup. It'll be interesting to see how Marcus Scott prepares his team against this high-octane airline squad. And honestly, Chachere did play a team in Captain Street that played just like airline, although they do run the ball more than airline does.
Yeah.
But they're used to playing a team from Shreveport, so it'll be very interesting to see how they attack airline. But then also, I want to mention for Ruston Southside too. Southside
That's going to be a physical
outscored.
football game.
Yeah, I mean Southside's been playing some
football.
really good football. I know Ruston, it's been the hot team, but I think Southside, just with the coaching expertise that Jess Curtis has, just the fact that they've outscored their opponents. I don't know, like night was 90,
99.
No, 80, no 89. It's 89.
Oh,
89
and 89 to 10.
Yeah. So in the last 2 games, I think I know both these teams are not like Ruston, but it seems like Southside is beginning to play its best football right now. And Ruston's Ruston has proven that it's a very beatable team throughout the year. And I know Ruston's a really good team, but you actually have Ruston.
I have Ruston in the dome. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, Ruston to a lot of people is still a dome team. However, they've shown that they've been vulnerable this year, and really the last 2 years they hardly showed any vulnerability. So I think that should be an interesting matchup as well. And also Westboro Central, that's going to be an upset bid right there. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup as well.
Yeah, I mean,
on to the next.
Only final thoughts on it, Grant, before you move on is some Cinderellas, man. I mean, West Monroe, they've hit their stride right in the playoffs, and being Parkway, I thought that gave them confidence. Mandeville, I thought with trying to deal with the injury of Nate Shepard and trying to play without him, even though Isaiah Bam's a good player, still, I mean, Nate played offense, defense, and special teams. That's like 3 starters in one. You're losing also. So West Monroe getting hot, has a chance to do that again and play a team I'm really high on in Central in the next round. And then Chalmette, I mean, give them a lot of praise, man. I mean, beat 2 really good teams in the River Parishes in Terrebonne and Hanville. That's tough to do in close games like that. So shout out to Coach Tucker and the Owls because they're doing a really good job, man. I mean, congrats on making the quarterfinals.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's the second straight year they've made the quarterfinals as well.
Yeah.
But Jace, moving on, we got to Division II non-select bracket, and Franklinton has they defeated West Feliciana 42-21. I believe it's their first. I mean, when was the last time Franklinton even won a playoff game? Too.
That's a good point. I mean,
like it's been a while.
Is it probably the 2010s?
I have to look that up, but I will come back to that in a second. But Lakeshore defeats Iota at 17-10, and that's going to be a rematch from earlier this season where Franklinton won 35-28 in the final seconds to win that game, and ultimately put them in the driver's seat to win their first district title in 10 years. It's been that long at Franklinton, so Coach Salt has done a excellent job with the program. And since Lutcher has been eliminated from the playoffs and early, I mean, we're looking at Franklinton. Probably, Franklinton was we thought was going to be a team that was going to compete for a dome spot. They've always been a dome team now, but their chances got a little higher. Not only winning a state championship since Lutcher's out, but this is still a very tough bracket.
Yeah,
Of
I
course,
think
you still
they
got
got the easier side. They definitely got
yeah,
the easier side because that bomb side of that bracket is, I mean, it is tough, man. And that bomb
yeah,
side of the bracket, but they got a pretty good road. I'm pretty high on Franklin Parish. I mean, I think that was the team I had in the dome, but yeah, I
mhm,
mean, I can definitely see Franklinton getting there as well.
yep. Iowa defeated Wassman 24-8. They will take on Franklin Parish, as we just mentioned, as Franklin Parish defeated Bruley 35-14. That's gonna be a very fun quarterfinal matchup to watch out for.
Yeah,
Uh, Opelousas defeats Jenny's. This is a game that I actually we both predicted
yeah,
that Opelousas was going to upset Jenny's. Although I don't know if you could consider that an upset because, of course, Opelousas is the defending state champion and they returned nearly everybody, but yet they're the 14th seed. I don't know why they're the 14th seed. I feel like may need to fix the seedings a bit because there's no way a defending state champ. I get that they finished the season 7-3. But Opelousas should be much higher, also given the fact that they played some really tough teams.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they probably need to fix the seeding in that one. But anyway, they will travel to Plaquemine.
Plaquemine.
They'll
Yeah,
travel to your stomping grounds, Jace.
yeah.
Although Jace is a Calicut grad, Jace
Yeah,
is the native of Plaquemine. His dad, of course, coached at Plaquemine for a little bit.
yeah.
Plaquemine defeats Northwest 49-34. So sorry, Plaquemine, for doubting you guys, but
Yeah,
Northwest was playing some really good football.
and Coach
Yeah.
Williams was on the radio. Kevon Johnson was out for Northwest.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so he didn't
oh,
even
that was
play in the
huge.
game. But Blackman, man, they're rolling on offense. I mean, Tyrese Mosby at running back, Nico Victorian at quarterback, John Walker receiver. Man, they're dangerous. That Opelousas game that's going to be intriguing to watch, man, because they got some athletes. So that they're going to give Opelousas some problems.
Yeah. North DeSoto defeats Bell Chase 38-14. They will be in the quarterfinals with a matchup against Cecilia. So Cecilia will travel on the road again. This time they'll take on a North DeSoto team. That's really good. I mean, this guy's gonna be
Yeah,
that's gonna be a fun, high octane, high scoring game over there, the Shreveport area. That should be another fun one to watch in Shreveport area. Matter of fact, Shreveport's going to get some good games this week. I mean, I'm
oh
pretty
yeah,
sure there might be the only two games. I mean, you got Calvary too. I think Calvary and
Lowry.
Episcopal.
Yep,
But
yep.
I don't know but that's not as high scoring as these two games. But some
No,
good
no.
football be played in the Shreveport area next
Yeah.
week. So I'm really excited. So it should be exciting time in Shreveport. But Jace, with all these matchups, which one intrigues you the most?
I'm looking at that last matchup, man. I mean, even though I say I guess a runner-up spot would be Opelousas Plaquemine. That's gonna be a fun game. My eyes on North DeSoto Cecilia because these are two teams that have been in the dome. They've proven to be in the dome. Luke Delafield, he was a quarterback in North DeSoto as a freshman, lead into the dome, and now he has a chance to do it as a junior. And I'm hearing Grant that Cole Corey will be back. I think he's back for North DeSoto as well. So getting
Oh,
him
that's
back
huge.
is huge. And you already got the Cecilia offense that can score. Man, that's going to be a fun offensive back and forth game. And for Cecilia's offense to put up 49 points on Lutcher's defense, that's telling me they can put points on anybody. So, I mean, it's intriguing. That bomb side of the bracket, man, those four teams are really good. And I'm feeling good about with Lutcher being out now. I know that was my state champions. I think whoever comes out, no offense to the top side of the bracket, Grant, but I think whoever comes out the bomb side of the bracket is your state champion now with Lutcher being out because Opelousas won it last year. Cecilia was a runner up. The North DeSoto was a runner up a couple years ago. I mean, I think besides the seedings, I think those are your best three teams.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, Jace. Should be some fun football in this bracket. Of course, all of these are intriguing. All Blues is a Plaquemine.
Yeah.
It's a pretty intriguing game. Iowa and Franklin
Iowa
Parish,
Franklin
5-4
Parish,
seed. That's gonna be a very
a
fun game
rematch
as well. Being played.
rematch with
Yep.
Franklinton Lakeshore. That was a great game the first go around. So all four of those games are going to be great football games for sure in this bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what
Moving
made it
on.
a wide open
Oh, go
bracket
ahead.
too. My only thoughts on this, Grant, is this has always been a wide open bracket, and now the number 2 seed, probably the favorite we thought, is out. It comes to show you how wide open this bracket is, and it's going to play itself out because any one of these teams can really win it. To be honest, is why.
Yeah, definitely, Jace. Definitely. And of course, we have two uh double digit seeds from the Lafayette area in the bracket, and that seems like a common theme because that happened last year where
Could
Northwestern
see
Opelousas.
it's looking like it, Grant, but can we see that Opelousas Cecilia game in the semis?
That'll be fun.
That'll be
That's gonna be
fun.
fun.
Yep.
Anyway, on to the next one. Division 3 non-select. St. James picked up its a playoff win with a 48-6 win over Donsville. They will take on Pine,
Hmm.
who defeated Kaplan 21-6. St. James will play Pine in the quarterfinals, and that should be and St. James will be favored to win that one, but Pine can maybe make it interesting early on. They're a very
Now
physical
I
team,
was
but
surprised Pine won that game. To be honest with you,
yeah, me too. I thought Kaplan was going to
I
kind of,
thought was
they're going
gonna
to be a
win.
Cinderella team in this bracket.
Yep.
So that's a big win for the Raiders. Union Parish defeated Red River 42-8. They will take on Kinder in the quarterfinals, who defeated Westlake 28-12. Oh boy. Oak Grove defeated Mansfield 62-14. Oak Grove will take on Sterlington, and Sterlington defeated Lakeside 49-18. So that should be a very
Hmm.
exciting matchup between two Northeast Louisiana powers in the quarterfinals. Gina will take on Port Allen 56-20. They will take on Laurelville, who defeated ERAF
One is upset.
28-7. So we got another top 3 seed has fallen, and that is the of the 8 brackets. That is the second 2 seed that has fallen in the second round. Gina Laurelville in the second round. So to kind of summarize everything, St. James, Pine, Union Parish, Kinder, Oak Grove, Sterlington, and Gina and Laurelville. Jace, what are your thoughts about the second round of this bracket? And give us a little preview of what we should expect in the quarterfinals, or what matchup intrigues you the most in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the matchup that intrigues me the most is the 2 Northeast Louisiana teams going at Oak Grove and Sterlington. That's the game to me that sticks out. Oak Grove is my pick in this bracket to be the state champions, but that's going to be tough to beat that Sterlington football team too. I mean, talk about toughness and physicality. That's Sterlington, and Oak Grove is too. So you talk about Northeast Louisiana, Grant. I guess it's the same impression. You probably have the same impression as I do. But I just think of that. We talk about Shreveport being kind of finesse, high scoring, that type of area. I think of Northeast Louisiana Monroe like tough, physical, smash mouth football, and that's what that Oak Grove Sterlington football game is going to be. So if you like old school playoff cold weather football, that Oak Grove Sterlington game is going to be the game for you because that's the one that sticks out to me the most. But yeah, I mean, you look around. This is a really good. This is a bracket to go either way. Union Parish. I mean, that's another Northeast Louisiana team. This is really a Northeast Louisiana bracket. But yeah, I mean, Oak Grove Sterlington to me is the game that sticks out to me the most.
Definitely, Jace. Yeah, that Sterlington, Oak Grove, and that's gonna be one of the better matchups next weekend. It's gonna be a great matchup. Can't wait for that one as well. I'm not obviously going to be there because obviously it's a hell of a drive for
That's a
me
hell of a
from
drive up
New
there.
Orleans, but that should be one that everyone should watch it for. That's definitely going to be of the so there's so of the 40 games that are going to be played next weekend, this one's definitely going to be the top 5.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It
Like,
definitely will be.
I can truly see. I know St. James is in there, Union Parish is in there, but I can truly see that game between Oak Grove and Sterlington being your state champion. I really do.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I can definitely see it, despite some other really good teams like I mentioned in St. James and Union Parish on the top side of the bracket.
Definitely, Chase. Moving on to Division 4 non-select, and then we'll take a quick break. Haynesville defeated Montgomery 61-0.
Still rolling.
They will take on Welsh. Of course, Welsh got the bye this week after Faraday and Lake Arthur both had to forfeit that game because both teams fought each other, and there was enough. There was enough to the point where the LHSAA made the decision that the game was ruled a no contest, and even though Faraday was up 30-12 at that point, Faraday had to forfeit the game, so Welsh moves on to play Haynesville, and that's gonna be a tough game for Welsh because you didn't play this week. You have to travel to Haynesville. I'm not. They can win that game, but it's gonna be tough coming off of not playing a game, and then you have to go play Haynesville, who just played a game. And Haynesville, of course, for a lot of people, is the favorite in this bracket, and rightfully so. They've been the best team of any team that is in this bracket right now. But moving on down, General Trask defeated North Everville 38-6. General Trask will move on to the quarterfinals to take on Jeanerette. Jeanerette defeated Grand Lake 46-24. Franklin defeated DeQuincy. Another top 4 seed has fallen in the second round, which is a lot of them for tonight. Franklin defeated DeQuincy 22-19. They will take on Logansport. Logansport defeated Elton 49-12. Mangum defeated West St. John 44-6. They will take on the second seeded South Plaquemine. South Plaquemine defeated East Feliciana 21-6. Jace, of these matchups, Haynesville Welsh, General Trask and Jeanerette, Franklin Logansport, and Mangum South Plaquemine. Which game intrigues you the most?
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up here. I mean, there's some. I mean, really, all 4 of them are intriguing in their own way. I mean, Franklin has a chance to have that Cinderella team. I would go with actually Franklin Logansport, to be honest, because Franklin is one of those other teams too. We talked about that are double-digit seeds, but they're wrongly seeded as well. Like they're better than their seed indicates, and like I had the right thought process. I just picked the wrong team. I had the Quincy lose in the second round. I just thought it was White Castle, but Franklin putting on White Castle the way that they did was shocking. So I mean, I like Franklin and how they were playing. Then they go on the road to the Quincy that had a great regular season. You play them and beat them. Now you got to go on the road and play Logansport, and Logansport is probably. I mean, I have Mangum in the state championship game, but Logansport's probably the favorite for the bomb side, to be honest with you, to go to the state championship game. So that game to me sticks out the most. But I mean, all 4 matchups are good in their own way. And how about Mangum too, by the way? I mean, that's a good West St. John team, and they destroyed them 44-6. It wasn't even close. So that matchup with South Plaquemines is going to be good. I know on our Ball in the Boot show, we had somebody comment, "Oh, y'all not giving any respect to South Plaquemines, like no respect at all." So
Yeah,
I'm gonna just say, yeah. I mean, South Plaquemines. I mean, they definitely deserve respect. I mean, they're a good football team. I mean, they lost to Newman by only 3. I mean, this is a really good football team, and they beat East Feliciana 21-6, so which beat Homer. So that Mangum South Plaquemines game is going to be good as well. But I mean, all 4 of those matches, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm curious how Welsh does after the bye week because of everything that happened. And we know what the teams have struggled after buys. So how does that affect Welsh, knowing the timing and the situations? Now we got first round in the bye. You play a game, then you have a bye, then you have to play again. So it's just a weird timing thing for Welsh, and we'll see how that affects them.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up all the brackets for the non-select brackets. We'll take a quick break. And then we'll go straight to the select brackets. There's some interesting results that happen there, and also, like we did with the non-select brackets, we will give a quick preview of the quarterfinals as well. We'll see you guys in just a bit. We are back once again. We are back once. And I'm Grant Chachere, Jace LeJeune. If you guys are just joining us, what? Yeah, sorry. It's here's something in my ears from another tab. It's like, where's that coming from? But anyway, I was like, wow, why is this playing in my ear? But anyway, yeah, I'm Grant Chachere, Jace LeJeune. We're back. We just actually wrapped up the going over the non-select brackets. The show will be up on YouTube if you missed those brackets. So make sure to check it out after the show has been released. In case you missed it. So me and Jace are gonna go over the select brackets, and there were some good ones, Jace. Of course, we already talked about the shocker one, which was
Mhm.
John Curtis and Acadiana.
Yeah.
And Jace, let's go over Division One. Select. Let me share the screen. No, that's it.
Besides that, not too shocking. I mean, we got one other game.
Yeah,
That's kind of
yeah, yeah. And the car defeated Huntington 56-6. Shocker.
that's
Saints.
what I'm referring to.
Yeah. By the way, this was a crazy back and forth
Yeah.
game. St. Thomas More defeated St. Aug. St. Aug scored late for the potential game tying touchdown. However, the extra point was blocked, which is basically the history of St. Aug in a nutshell. Missed
And they
extra point,
struggled with
blocked extra
special
point.
teams in the Karen Crow game. They missed some extra points in that game as well, and this game it came to bite them actually.
Yeah, that's the thing about the St. Aug playoffs. Just when you think they're about to pull it off, the dreaded extra point comes.
Yeah,
That's the history of like the English national soccer team is to penalty kicks is what St. Aug is to extra points. That's the history of St. Aug in a nutshell. But Archbishop Brummel defeats McDonald 35, 50-25. Oh, by the way, I also forgot to mention, Edna Carr will take on St. Thomas More in the quarterfinals. That should be an interesting one. Although this is the first time in the game where St. Thomas More is playing a big game, and I think the other team,
heavy underdog, which is weird.
Yes,
which is weird saying that about St. Thomas More.
That's weird about saying that about West Monroe too. West Monroe is now considered a Cinderella team.
Yeah.
Like literally over 10, 15 years ago, like literally like 5-6 years ago, they were a team you expect to go to the dome every year.
Oh yeah,
which is insane. But Rummel, we have already mentioned that score. Catholic Baton Rouge defeated East Jeff 42-0. So those two teams, it'll be rematch of last year's semifinal
it's
game.
inevitable with those two teams. They always play each other in the play. It's either Catholic and Rummel or Catholic and Brother Martin. I don't know why, but it's either one of those teams that always has to play Catholic.
Well, Rummel and Catholic always play each other for some reason. They all more so than Brother Martin and Catholic. And also, there's been some classic games between the two teams. Matter of fact, Catholic's first championship was one against Rummel. I mean, there's been some classic games between the two programs in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Rummel's been Catholic in the state championship too. So it's both sides have gotten a lot of really good ones over the years.
Mm-hmm. Acadiana will take on John Curtis. John Curtis Christian defeated Acadiana 28-27. They will take on the John Curtis Patriots will take on Turles Catholic. Turles Catholic defeated Jesuit 31-23. C Bird defeated St. Paul's 37-15. C Bird will make the trip down to Alexandria. Well, they'll take on Ash. Ash defeated Evangel Christian 49-6.
Yeah.
Jace, what was give your overall thoughts about the first round, the second round on this bracket, but then also tell us who you think is the most intriguing matchup of the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, obviously John Curtis is where you start, right? I mean, John Curtis getting that win. Acadiana was a team I had in the Superdome, just because not only the veer offense and the defense, but their passing game. This is the best passing game they've had, and for them to lose to John Curtis, which wasn't, I mean, like you said, John Curtis' first losing season, a regular season since 1969. Now, if you add it all together, Grant, it's actually not a losing season for John Curtis now with the two playoff wins. But yeah, that was definitely a shocker. I wasn't surprised it was a close one because knowing that they both run the veer, I thought it'd be a really and knowing John Curtis's defense, I knew it was going to be a close game. But I didn't think John Curtis' offense would get enough in the end, but they did. So you gotta give him credit. Congratulations on John Curtis on the win. Turner's Catholic. I mean, we doubt Turner's Catholic, and they get a win over Jesuit, and they kind of play a Catholic League style. Grant. I mean, Gresham Perry in the offensive line. They have a really good running back in Dougie Vills. They run the football. They play good defense. I mean, they play that Catholic League type of style, of game. So that would be a good one. How about C.E. Bird? I mean, really putting it on St. Paul's. That's a good St. Paul's team as well. And C.E. Bird, their ability to run the football, and then also their strong defense. I mean, they're probably one of the better defenses in the Shreveport area. Which is, I mean, I know it's saying a lot, but they're actually a really good defense. And to shut down a really good offense for St. Paul's, I mean, that's saying something winning that football game. So that one surprised me. That was probably the other surprise in this bracket. But the game that stands out to me the most is probably Catholic and Rummel. I mean, to be honest with you, because that game you just see it every year. And remember what happened last year too. So I mean, that game was the Mother Nature game where this was a semifinal. This was a rematch from the semifinals last year, and really Rummel had the momentum. They were tied, hanging to the fourth quarter, and then you stop it because of Mother Nature got involved, and you play it on Saturday. I was there Saturday. There was that controversial catch, no catch with Rummel that obviously got us a lot of views at Gridiron Football. And I think people are still commenting right now as a year. We'll probably get comments before the football game. It was not a catch or it was a catch, whatever. But to have that dynamic back again at the same place at Memorial Stadium from last year, like that's going to be intriguing. And because those two teams playing each other, it's just inevitable. We should have thought it was going to happen. But that matchup, and then just the thought that St. Thomas More, think about all the great St. Thomas More teams that they've had, and for them, like we're kind of like just shrugging them off because they're playing like in the car, like this juggernaut in the car, and for them to be a heavy underdog, that's weird saying that. Even though this kind of like John Curtis isn't the best St. Thomas More team, it's still St. Thomas More. So how close can they make it within the car? That's going to be the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, Chase. I mean, Archbishop Rebel Catholic, that should be a very exciting game. I know for a lot of people that is going to be the game of the week in South Louisiana, of course. And especially with those two teams playing each other, it's always going to be a classic game with those two teams. But anyway, Chase, let's move on to
One more
division.
note too is Ash. How about Ash's defense? I mean, they've had some shootouts, and for them to shut down the Evangel Christian and only hold them to 6 points, that shocked me. I thought it would be more of a high scoring game. So with the KDN out, I mean, at the bottom side of the bracket, I mean, Ash is looking like a pretty good run. I mean, pretty straight run to the dome right now. If you're thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely. Archbishop Shaw for Division II select. Archbishop Shaw defeated Laranger 49-14. They will take on the John F. Kennedy Cougars. JFK defeated Lake Charles College Prep 51-37. So that should be a really interesting one in the New Orleans area. And the reason why I say it's interesting is because remember, JFK on paper, they are 6-4, but remember 3 of the JFK's 4 losses were forfeits because they have ineligibility issues on the roster.
Really, only one loss on the field is what they had this year.
Yeah,
that played out.
So that should be really good. Yeah, that should be a really good one in the New Orleans area. Madison Prep will take on St. Charles. Madison Prep Madison Prep defeated St. Charles 34-20. They will take on Estruma, and that should be a great one in the Baton Rouge area between two East Baton Rouge schools, public schools. Jace, that should be a great one. I'm not sure if that's Memorial. It's going to be playing Memorial Stadium
I
or
think that will be
Olympia Stadium.
I think that's going to be
Yeah.
Olympia. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Catholic will have
Catholic
Memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Edie White will defeated Livingston Collegiate 51-14. They will take on their longtime arch rival, Vanderbilt Catholic. Vanderbilt Catholic defeated Archbishop Hannon 49-9. Leesville defeated Loyola Prep 42-24. They will take on Booker T. Washington, as Booker T. Washington will advance to the quarterfinals because UI had to forfeit the playoff game, for the reasons while the playoff bracket reveal was delayed because of the lawsuit that was ongoing. We already explained that in the past. I won't explain that again because we have some actual football games we got to cover. But Jace, talk about the first round. Your overall thoughts about the first round, and then what do you think is the most intriguing matchup for the second round?
The one thing that intrigued me most from the first round was how about Madison Prep? Because the reason I'm going to go to Madison Prep for this, Grant, is St. Charles. I mean, I know they've come up late towards the end of the year, but Wayne Stein, you talked about it on last week, Grant, that their defense is still really strong. Wayne Stein's going to always have a game plan defensively, and Madison Prep put 34 on them. And that's a good St. Charles Catholic defense still, because they gave up 26 to Shaw when Shaw was putting 50, 60 points up every week. And for them to score 34 on St. Charles Catholic was pretty impressive. And that ends their run too, by the way, of consecutive state championship appearances in the Superdome as well. So that one stood out. Estruma, I mean, I know you were there to cover that one. But that just was not talk about bad matchups. That was just a bad matchup for Haynes Academy, and it just comes to show you. I mean, they won all their games, but they had a weak schedule, and they haven't played a team with as much athleticism as Estruma has, with Kyrie Paul, the Southeastern commit, and they got a lot of real good athletes on that Indians football team. So that was just a bad matchup all the way around. So those, I mean, besides that though, nothing too much happening in the first I mean, I guess second round. I mean, Leesville taking care of business against Loyola Prep. That was another interesting one, interesting score too, because their Bryce Restovich was a player of the week. I thought he had 5 touchdowns this past week, but you're going against Xavier Ford, man, and he's tough to stop. And they're really, their offensive line's big and physical, and like they're a tough team to go against. But I mean, not too much. Obviously, I mean, the Booker T of Washington was big news because of U High this week, because they're the benefactors of it. Making the quarterfinals. But the matchup, Grant, the one matchup that's going to stand out to me the most is Shaw and JFK. And the reason I say this, Grant, I think your best shot at this number 1 seed going down, Shaw going down, is JFK. I feel like it's not even the semifinals. I don't think it's a Superdome. Your best shot of Shaw going down is next week, because JFK's got the athletes, and you cover them. You're close to the program, Grant. So I know you noticed this, and you're high on JFK. But I feel like JFK has the best shot at Shaw because they're athletes. They can compete with their athletes, and as long as they play a clean game and they don't beat themselves, they can make it interesting with Shaw. I feel like that. I know Madison Prep's going to be in the running too, but I feel like as of now, I think that's probably your best shot at Shaw and making this bracket pretty crazy with them going out.
Definitely, Jace, and that's going to wrap up our Division Two, Division Two select bracket. Of course, our special Shaw and JFK will probably be the game of the week in the New Orleans area. Just given, these two teams have been two of the better teams in New Orleans all year long, and don't be fooled by JFK's record once again. I know they are currently 7-4 right now with their playoff win tonight. However,
It's
they
a high
are
scoring too.
technically 10. They're technically 10-1 on the field, so
Yeah.
that should be a great one next week at Joe Zimmerman Stadium on the West Bank, Marrero, Louisiana. Moving on to Division 3 select.
Yeah, I'm close to this
We
bracket.
Dunham, the number one overall seed, defeated Parkview Baptist 42-0. They will take on LCA.
Yeah.
Lafayette Christian defeated Notre Dame 35-28. They got revenge from their loss early this season. And this game, Jay's right here, is an upset big game. And really, the next two games for Dunham are upset. Well, I mean, this is more of an upset bid than the semifinal game if Dunham were to advance. But Dunham, I mean, this is a very tough Lafayette Christian team. They're playing their best football right now.
Yep.
They're healthier. We've all seen what they look. We've all seen what LCA looks like when they're clicking. And LCA, of course, as we know, they made to what three straight state championships. Or I mean, it's been a little. They've been to a lot.
I think they
this
went
is a
to
team
more
that
than that. I think they went to like 5 or 6.
yeah, it's been they've been to a lot. So I mean, this is a team that wants they expect to get to the dome.
Won 4 straight at one point.
Yeah, I think so. It's about so they're like that's something you're about right. This is a team that expects to get to the dome. They've been the dome the last few years straight, and Dunham will have a tough task.
Yeah,
a really good. Yeah, definitely. Bunkie defeated Amy 39-14. Bunkie will travel down to Tangipahoa Parish, right, not too far from where Amy resides, and now they will take on the 4-seeded Jewel Sumner. Jewel Sumner defeated Slaughter Community Charter 48-28.
Now that play game was actually much closer than that score indicated. It was 21-21, like midway through that game. So large charge game, a football game, but yeah, I mean, Jewel Sumner was able to pull away.
Yeah, the first run by, we talked about this first run by. It seemed like the first run by kind of affected Jewel Sumner a bit, but they were able to pull through at the end and blow them up by 20 points. But that should be, Jewel Sumner, as I said, I was really high on Jewel Sumner as a team that, as great as they are, they've fallen under the radar. But I think this year's team getting them to the quarterfinals and with a win over Bunkie and to get to the semifinals will definitely put them in a place where this program has never been before. This program has had success before. Of course, they've had some few successful years, but Ross Courier has taken them to a place that they have not they've never been to. So it'll be very interesting. I think this game will probably be the most intriguing matchup of this bracket.
Yeah.
This bracket, I think you will get to that in a second. But Calvary Baptist will take on Episcopal. Calvary Baptist defeated De La Salle 38-0. Episcopal defeated Pope John Paul II 24-7. Jason, I know you're covering that game.
Yeah.
Episcopal won pretty handily. So, Catholic New Iberia defeated Dorothy Christian 59-22. They will take on Isidore Newman. Newman defeated Auburn Wood Charter 49-19. Jace, overall thoughts about the first round, and what do you think is the most intriguing matchup of the second round?
Man, that's tough because this bracket, I know Division 4. I mean, I know you say it's probably the deepest. It probably is. But this is a fun bracket too, man. I mean, just look at these matchups you got. I mean, it's like picking. I don't know. It's like who you like better, Joe Burrow or Jaden Daniels. Like, I mean, it's kind of like one of those things, right? I mean, Dunham, LCA, right? That's an incredible playoff matchup. I mean, Elijah Haven. There's going to be a lot of points being scored with Elijah Haven for Dunham, LCA. I know Juwan Johnson is no longer there with the program because he's at LSU, but Brandon Walker's a good quarterback. They got a lot of weapons, so that should be a lot of really high scoring football game. Should be a fun one. Bunkie, Jewel Sumner. I agree with you, Grant. I think that's the most intriguing one because Bunkie, and I know you had Amy winning that football game, and Bunkie took care of business. I think they're really motivated from last year because they let that slip away against Episcopal last year. coming off a bye, and I think that they were like making sure that didn't happen again, and they had a really good performance. But Joel Sumner's a tough matchup for him because, like you mentioned, like they're big, they're physical. Um, I mean, I was be able to see them. Their running backs are big. Like, I mean, their line's big. The defensive front's big. Even their cornerbacks, their DBs are long. They're just long. Like you talk about a team that looks the part coming off the bus, like I mean, Joel Sumner is. So that will be intriguing because of Bunky and their ability to make explosive plays with Dylan Compton and Kyle Johnson. And by the way, Dylan Compton's also committed to player in a bowl game too. So we're pretty stoked about that at the quarterback position. And then looking ahead, Grant, that Episcopal game, since I guess I'll briefly talk about it.
Yeah.
But that game was 0-0 at halftime, by the way.
Oh
Between
wow.
Yeah, it was 0-0. But a lot of credit goes to Episcopal's coaching staff. They made some great adjustments in the second half. Reed Chauvin, he just got better and better as that game went on. He ran for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns against Pope John Paul, and Zach Q threw a touchdown pass. It was a beautiful throw to David Olin, and when the game I wasn't in doubt, but it was the best shot for it was a third down play, and Pope John Paul had a chance to get back in because they just returned a kickoff return for a touchdown, make it 17-7. But the touchdown pass from Zach Q to David Olin put it out of reach for Pope John Paul. But it was a great first half, but a lot of kudos goes to Travis Bourgeois, the head coach, Wally Stevens, the offensive coordinator, and Charlie O'Brien, the defensive coordinator, for making the adjustments in the second half. And I thought the coaching staff, and me and Taylor Sharp talked about, and I agree with Taylor on the call that the coaching staff deserved the game ball because I thought the coaching staff won them that game with the adjustments they made at halftime.
Hmm.
The Calvary Episcopal, I'm going to say this, Grant. I'm not sure if Episcopal. I mean, Calvary's going to be the favorite, and they got a lot of weapons on offense. But Episcopal's defense, man, I think they can make it tough on Calvary. I don't think it's going to be one of those things. I'll be shocked if Calvary puts 50, 60 points. It ain't going to be like that. But Episcopal's defense is that good. They can give some problems for Calvary. The question is, can they get enough offense from that end? Because Reed Chauvin at the running back position is really tough, but like tonight, you're going to have to find that second option because Chauvin is going to get his yards, but you're going to have to get that second, third option in order for you to have a legit shot to beat Calvary Baptist. And then Catherine New Iberia, Newman being the last game. Catherine New Iberia able to take care of business. They won pretty handily, and like Bunky, they were pretty motivated after an early exit last year. But Newman, they got something to prove, man. Like a pistol, they're trying to go over a hump. They're trying to go instead of a quarterfinal hump, they're trying to go over the semifinal hump. So they're trying to get to the state championship. And despite having it's a tough road to get there, like this is probably one of their best shots to actually get into the dome. So I mean, those 4 games, Grant, like some of these other brackets, just pick one. They're all pretty intriguing in their own way.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely, Jason. Some really going to be some really good games next week. Of course, it's Dora Newman and Catholic Bear, which should be a good one
Hmm.
here in New Orleans. Buggy Jules Sumner, I think that's probably the game of the
Yeah,
weekend
not the
next week.
pick, not the pick.
Dunham Lafayette,
Yeah,
yeah, Dunham Lafayette Christian is another great. I mean, really, all of them are pretty great. I mean, the Calvary Baptist Episcopal is going to be a good matchup, although I don't know how that game's going to turn out for just overall, because Calvary Baptist, of course, is just really good. It would
yeah,
be very interesting to see how Episcopal handles Calvary's high octane offense.
yeah.
Jace, I know you probably won't be covering the game because obviously that's in Shreveport.
Yeah,
So
they're
I'm not sure.
discussing it right now. I mean, there's a slim chance that I actually might drive up there,
Oh,
depending
really?
on the situation. So maybe it's one of those things I write up with the team or something. Well, but like we have to talk about it. And I know Taylor can't call the game, but it's going to be up in the air. If they have broadcasters up there that can do it, then I probably will stay down here. But if they don't, then I can probably go up there and do it. So we'll play it by ear for next week.
Hmm. Yeah. So we're gonna going toward the last bracket of the night, and then of course we'll wrap things up. Vermilion Catholic defeated Westminster Christian 47-17. They will take on St. Edmund.
Ooh,
And St. Edmund defeated St. Martin's Episcopal 78-37.
yeah,
Oh my God, that's a lot of points.
yeah.
Ascension, the Kentwood defeated Ascension Episcopal. Kentwood will take on their district arch rivals, Southern Lab. Southern Lab defeated St. Frederick's 24 to 7. Covenant Christian defeated Central Catholic in a rematch from 2 weeks ago. Covenant Christian will take on Washington Christian. And Washington Christian defeated Catholic Point Coupee 28-6. Riverside Academy defeated Hamilton Christian 49-6. This game was pretty close early on.
Yeah.
But the Riverside was able to blow them out in the second half. Riverside will take on Ascension Catholic, and Ascension Catholic defeated Opelousas Catholic 58-13. And I'm pretty sure the clip that Troy showed them definitely motivated the team to victory.
I don't think it's non-touchdown, but I'm sure Chelsea had a pretty good night.
Yep. So, Jace, overall thoughts about the first round, and then also which matchup intrigues you the most?
Man, two of them really stick out for me. I mean, anytime you have Southern Lab and Kentwood going against each other in the playoffs, that's awesome. With the amount of athletes and the state championship, both these two teams combined for a lot of state championships. And the first time around, I know I think Chachere was covering this game for us the first time on the Bluff, and it was 13-8, I think. And now this one's going to be underneath the water tower, so it's going to be a great game between great small school brands. These are two of the biggest small school brands in Louisiana going against each other. So this is one of those things too, Grant. 12-13. Ignore the seeding. I mean, it's the brands. It's Kentwood, Southern Lab that are really good. And then the other game, I think that's a great game, a great matchup because of the brands. I think the game I'm most excited about is Ascension Catholic and Riverside Academy. That one's making me really excited because you have two outstanding running backs in this football game. Dedrick Lassie for Riverside Academy, Chad Elzy from Ascension Catholic. I mean, you talk about track meet, man. That's going to be a fun one to watch because both these two are two of the more fun players to watch in this bracket. Now they get a chance to go against each other. Those are the type of matchups you want to see in Division 4 Select. So to me, and really, I think the winner of this game, Grant, I had Riverside Academy making to the Dome, but I think the winner of this game does get there. To be honest, on the bottom side of the bracket. So I know Washoe Christian is a good team too, but yeah, that game's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that game might be the game. I mean, of course, it's hard to pick. I mean, it could be this game. It could also be Kentwood and Southern Lab. I think both are viable options. But to go to your second point, I know you said the winner of this game has probably will be the favorite to go to the Dome. Here's one problem, Jace.
Yeah, Washoe Christian.
They got to get past the 11th seed right there. That's the team. If they can beat that team, they're in. But Washoe Christian right now, I mean, they are the biggest. I mean, they are the best 11th seed in the history of the Louisiana high school football playoffs.
Really, the 11, 12, and 13 seeds are like in this. I mean, they're probably the favorites.
But this is even more egregious. This is even more egregious because they're a 9-1 team, yet they're the 11th seed.
Yeah.
It's just egregious. I mean, like let's be honest. Like they have a better record than St. Fred's. And then like they have a better record than St. Edmunds. I think. Do they? I don't know. But like, there's a lot of 8-2, 9-1 teams in the bracket, but it's Washoe Christian. Like, come on, man.
It's one point I want to make. I mean, what a statement St. Edmund made. Against Harlan Berry and the number one running back in the country, the LSU commit. He put 78 points up on them. That was a statement, and really, that St. Edmund Vermilion Catholic game is a sleeper game to me because St. Edmund can score points, and they've beaten some really good teams this year. And Coach Shiver has gotten this team and this program excited, and they can score. So yeah, I think that's a sleeper game, to be honest with you. That like could be a really great game that nobody's really talking about.
Hmm. Definitely, Jace. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for all the brackets. Jace, you got
Yeah,
any final thoughts
yeah,
about tonight?
yeah. It's crazy. Second, I mean, last year was crazy, like you mentioned, but just the amount of upsets, and not only upsets, but monumental upsets. When talking about teams that we had in the dome, like I had Lutcher in the state championship game. I had them winning it. I had Acadia going to the state championship too, and those are two wide open brackets. So those upsets were big for a lot of reasons, and we're seeing a bunch of double digit seeds. I mean, in the second round, advancing to the quarterfinals. But to me, the big program names or the brands or advancing. Like it doesn't matter what seeds there are. We saw Washington Christian, Southern Lab, Kentwood. And you look at Destrehan, you look at West Monroe. I mean, West Monroe was making a deep run. They're a big program name. So it's a John Curtis. Like no matter what seeding you are, those brand names, those schools have been used to playing in the dome and playing deep into the dome. I mean, playing deep in the playoffs, or the ones that we're talking about. And it's those big program names that, even though in the regular season we probably talked about the new hot shots more in the regular season, when it comes down to it in the playoffs, when it's winner go home, it's been the teams you're always been accustomed of talking about.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only team that that you're describing that ended up actually losing was Amy versus Bunky. Bunky was actually probably the only team that kind of fit that description where they actually won,
Yeah.
and won handily. So I mean, I mean, it was a huge night for the brand teams, of course. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe it's out. The outlier is, of course, Lutcher. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
Amy and Bunky, but then also Lutcher and Cecilia.
Right.
But even Cecilia's had success enough,
Yeah. They've
has a
had
lot of
enough
success in their
success.
program.
Right.
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 I mean, they won one state championship. But I mean, yeah, I mean, even though it's just one, I mean, they've had a lot of success in the
Yeah.
program. But like it's just a bit huge night for the brand teams.
Yeah.
Of course, experience matters. We're starting to see
Mhm.
that. Like I've kind of been preaching, having the, just being already been there and
Yeah.
done that, and already getting, seeing the bright light, being under those bright lights on a Friday night. It's during the playoffs. I mean, you're seeing that a lot. Southern Lab, Kentwood, Washington Christian,
Mhm.
double digit seats moved on. Opelousas
Yep.
won the state championship last year, even though the double digit seed again, the
Move
second year in a
on.
row, moved on. Cecilia,
Mhm.
even though they're 18 seed, they were the state runner ups last year. They move on.
Move on.
Curtis, already know about Curtis. I mean, so the more experience you have in the playoffs, that's where you start. That's I
Absolutely.
mean, all the teams we mentioned have been there and done that before. So that it's no shocker that those teams won. The only one that I was shocked they didn't make it was Amy.
Yeah.
That was I actually picked Amy to go to the state championship. I thought Amy was
Yeah.
going to make a run, given what I've seen. But they lost in the second round, which I don't remember the loss. Amy even lost in the second round, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, and that Bunky team is, I know it's a new program per se, but that's a veteran team.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a senior
definitely.
led team, and those are one of those teams, right? Even if the program brand's not big, the team has experienced the highs and the lows, and that experience has helped them, along the way, and it helped them tonight against Amy, a good Amy team at home.
Hmm. Yeah, Jason. Thanks once again for
Yeah,
hopping on Friday Nights on the Bayou for the 12th, 13th week in a row. I lost count.
yeah, 12.
Maybe more than that. It doesn't matter.
Well,
It's
I
been
guess
a
in
while.
preseason.
And the season's going to end. Well, yeah, sure. The season's about to end in 3 weeks. So, gotta enjoy this while we possibly can.
I'm enjoying the
I'm
ride,
your
man.
host. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm Grant Sasser of I almost said Gridiron Football. Damn it.
Used to be.
Yeah, he was used to be. Yeah, used to
Used
be.
to be.
Yeah. I'm Grant Sasser of Crystal City Sports and the owner of Ruger Sports Media. joined here, if not always, most of the time, by Jace LeJeune of Gridiron Football. It was a fun night.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. And then also, most importantly, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Thanksgiving's next week. So enjoy, eat up. I'm probably not going to eat as much because I'm trying to cut back just a little bit. And and because in the winter months, I don't know. In the winter months, I try to like cut it back because I know I'm going to be eating a lot. So that's usually how that works. But anyway, you guys have a great night. Go to bed, get some sleep, and hopefully maybe LSU doesn't lose in embarrassing fashion to Vanderbilt tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna be at a wedding, so either way, I don't have to see it.
Yeah.
Either way.
All right, you guys have a good one. You too, Jace.
Yeah, you too, Grant.